Last week brought us some great weather and great athletics competition. Let's see how your Millikin athletes fared. Welcome to this week's edition of Behind the Blue. Millikin volleyball was back in action again last weekend. The Big Blue opened the UChicago tournament against number 9 Transylvania. Fueled by a career-high 7 aces from freshman Anna Deutschman, Millikin went the distance and pulled off the upset, winning 3-2. Junior Tori Stewart notched a career-high 20 kills in the win. Later in the day, Millikin took on Concordia, Wisconsin. The Big Blue also saw this game head to the 5th set, where Millikin would lose for the first time this season. A pair of Big Blue players notched career highs in the loss. That puts Millikin at 5-1 through 2 weeks of non-conference play. They remain second in the CCIW, with North Park taking over the lead. This week, Millikin opens CCIW play on the road at Carthage. They then come home for the Millikin Invitational on Friday and Saturday. Moving on to men's soccer, they continued their season Wednesday against Wisconsin Whitewater. The Big Blue held the game scoreless late into the second half, but ultimately fell 2-0. Freshman Felix Malm made his first career start in a Big Blue uniform and notched 6 saves in the loss. Later in the week, the Big Blue took to the road to match up against Rose-Hulman. Millikin would battle to a 1-1 tie, with Nico Moe scoring the game-tying goal 2 minutes into the second half. Senior keeper John Kugler put in a strong effort, recording a career-high 11 saves in the contest. This puts Millikin at 0-3-1 on the season, and they look to find the win column for the first time this year against Wisconsin Platteville and Loris this week. Moving to women's soccer, the Big Blues suffered their first loss Wednesday evening on the road at Webster. Millikin conceded a goal 5 seconds before halftime, but equalized 10 minutes into the second half. Webster would score with 10 minutes to go, and that would be all they wrote. Keeper Sophie Dorgan made 6 saves in the loss. Later in the week, Millikin hosted the Panthers of Greenville. This one was all Millikin, as the Big Blue cruised to a comfortable 3-1 victory at home. Sophomore Bailey Blecker and senior Amanda Noser dominated the score sheet. Blecker finished with 2 goals and an assist, and Noser with a goal and an assist of her own. This puts women's soccer at 3-1 on the year, and they remain second in the CCIW. The Big Blue play 2 games on the road at Wash U and Rose-Hulman this week. Millikin football had a bye week this week. They opened CCIW play on the road this weekend at Augustana. Millikin Triathlon continued their dominant 2021 season last weekend. The Big Blue competed in the Rhodes McKee-Reeds Lake Triathlon. Not only did the Big Blue lock out the podium, they locked out the top 5 positions. Hope Roderick was the top finisher for the Big Blue as they defeated Calvin 10-30. Triathlon has a week off as they prepare for the first home triathlon in Millikin's history. Men's and women's golf were both in action last week. The Big Blue men finished 4th in the Carthage Fall Classic. Jack Patterson turned in a strong performance, shooting a 143 and tying for 3rd. Tyler Wright and Brendan Rowe tied for 7th. The Millikin women were in action at the Illinois College Preview. The team finished 3rd, led by Taylor Chase, who shot a 172. Millikin women's tennis was in duels action last week as well. They defeated Rose-Hulman to move to 3-0 on the season. The Big Blue took 5 of 6 singles matches and all 3 doubles matches. Women's tennis remains at 3-0. They are among a number of undefeated teams in the CCIW, but sit tied for 4th with Wheaton. Men's tennis was also in action last weekend at the Millikin Fall Invitational. They went 8-18 in singles play and 4-7 in doubles play. Cross country has had a few weeks off, but they get back to action this weekend at the Wheaton College Gil Dodds meet. Now it's time to recognize our Big Blue Athletes of the Week. Our first athlete is Bailey Blecker. Bailey is a sophomore elementary education major from Loves Park, Illinois. Last week, Bailey scored 3 goals and added an assist in 2 games. She had a 3-point game against Greenville and was named CCIW Offensive Student Athlete of the Week. Our second Big Blue Athlete of the Week is Hope Roderick. Hope is a senior early childhood developmental therapy major from Glen Carbon, Illinois. Last weekend, Hope competed in the Rhodes McKee-Reeds Lake Triathlon. She notched her first career victory, finishing 1st in the collegiate division as the Big Blue defeated Calvin 10-30. We caught up with Hope earlier this week. Take a listen. All right, Hope, what was your approach going into this weekend?
I would say just really getting over mental toughness. We lost a season last year because of COVID, so having this one last year to just show everything we've got and put it all out on the course, I think is really important.
All right, early race up in Michigan, about a 5:30 Central start time. Does the start time of a race affect how you prepare or possibly your strategy?
No, I think that having 6 a.m. practice every morning here on campus really helps. Helps you get into the routine of waking up early, and then when you get out to the race, it's kind of a breeze waking up early. It helps having teammates to really rally with you, play loud music, and get you in that race mode. And you're done before the sun rises, so it's kind of nice.
All right, most athletes have been in a place where you're trying to chase down somebody in front of you. How does your mindset change mid-race when you're in the lead and there's nobody in front of you to chase down?
I think if they were in front of you or whether they're behind you, it's definitely they're chasing you or you're chasing them. You obviously don't want anyone to pass you, so just having them around every corner you can see them behind your back, having them push you to that finish line and give everything you got. It's definitely tough, but it's so worth it in the end.
It isn't easy for a startup program to become a contender for an NCAA title so quickly, but your team has finished top 3 in every year of existence at the NCAAs. At the same time, you don't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. Is there a secret to the success that you've had since day one?
I think it's just dedication and how much effort each of us are putting in to grow this program. We started with 4 girls and we're already up to 10. I think that there's 2 other teams above us that we're right there, we're gnawing at their ankles, and so to be able to come as far as we have, I think is really incredible.
All right, now maybe the most exciting part. Looking forward, after 4 years, you will finally get a chance to compete at a home triathlon. What does this mean for the program and for the athletes that have been here since day one?
I think it shows a lot of growth. Our first year, we had no idea what we were doing. Just 3 years ago, we were starting our first triathlon with our first 4 girls, and now look ahead 3 years and we're hosting in our own. I think it's a lot for the community. I think it's a lot for Millikin. I think it will grow our team, and I think that's really, really cool.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Hope, and good luck going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
That's all for this week's edition of Behind the Blue. Be sure to tune in next week for all your Millikin sports news. Have a great week and go Big Blue.